story about a very special cat. Not just any cat, mind you, but a cat with a heart bigger than his round tummy and whiskers that quivered with curiosity. This cat lived in a charming village nestled amidst rolling hills and babbling brooks. It was a peaceful place, filled with cobblestone paths and cozy cottages. And the cat's name was Whisker. Now, Whisker wasn't your ordinary feline. Oh, no. While other cats in the village chased mice and dozed in sunny spots, Whisker dreamed of adventure. His mind was filled with images of faraway places, and his heart itched for exploration. One day, as Whisker basked in a patch of warm sunlight, he struck up a conversation with the village postman, an elderly gentleman named Mr. Henderson. The postman was a well of local knowledge and stories of faraway lands. Over cups of steaming hot tea and plates of freshly baked biscuits,
Mr. Henderson regaled Whisker with tales of a magical city called Tampa, Florida.
he spoke of white sandy beaches, towering palm trees, and the most delicious fish sandwiches a cat could imagine. By the end of their afternoon tea, Whisker was completely sold. He yearned to experience the magic of Tampa for himself. With dreams of succulent fish sandwiches dancing in his head, Whisker set about planning his grand adventure. First, he needed supplies. Any seasoned traveler knows that preparation is key. So Whisker packed his tiny backpack with essentials. A jar of his favorite tuna, a can of catnip just in case, a sturdy leash, a brand new collar, and a tiny map of the United States. He marked his starting point, the familiar cobblestone path of Millbrook Village. Next, he traced a line across the map, following his route to Tampa. Finally, he added a big star where Tampa Bay was. Every time he looked at the map, his whiskers twitched with excitement. Then came the hard part, saying goodbye. Whisker visited his favorite spots in the village, chasing butterflies in the meadow, climbing the old oak tree, and napping in the sunny window of Miss Daisy's bookstore. Each goodbye was harder than the last, but the thought of Tampa and its promised delights spurred him onward. On the morning of his departure, Whisker woke up early, his heart thumping with a mix of excitement and anticipation. He stood on the cobblestone path, his fluffy orange fur catching the golden morning light like spun copper. His round amber eyes sparkled with excitement as he adjusted the tiny backpack strapped to his chubby frame. Today was the day he'd dreamed of 4 months' journey to the magical city of Tampa, Florida. The first leg of his journey took him through rolling farmlands and sleepy towns. But Whisker didn't mind. Every mile brought him closer to his dream. He followed winding roads, sniffed interesting bushes, and made new friends along the way. Once he even hitchhiked on the back of a farmer's truck, enjoying the bumpy ride as much as the company. After several days of walking, Whisker arrived at a train station. Looking at the tracks before him, he knew this was his ticket to his next stop on his journey to Tampa. Taking a deep breath, he walked up to the ticket counter and politely explained his situation to the surprised station master. "A cat traveling alone," she said, shaking her head in amusement. "Well, I haven't had that before." "All right, little cat. Where are you headed?" Whisker proudly stated his destination. "Tampa," he replied. The station master smiled. "That's a fine place. Hop aboard the 415. Just make sure you find a nice human to watch over you during the trip." And with a wave of her paw, she sent him on his way. Now, to get on the train, Whisker had to navigate a busy station filled with people rushing to catch their rides. He dodged suitcases, hopped over bags, and weaved through legs until he reached the safety of a carriage. Inside, he found a cozy spot between some suitcases and settled in for the ride. Soon, the train began to move, carrying Whisker further on his journey towards his great adventure. Day after day, Whisker continued his exciting journey, always moving closer to his goal, never giving up, and always ready for whatever surprises came his way. Through it all, his dream of reaching Tampa kept him going whenever he felt tired or unsure. He remembered the stories Mr. Henderson had told him about the city's magic and the delicious fish sandwiches waiting for him there. So, with determination in his heart and a spring in his step, Whisker pressed on, eager to experience all the wonders that awaited him in the magical city of Tampa. The journey was long and sometimes tough. But Whisker was determined. He kept going, always remembering why he started this adventure in the first place. Along the way, he made new friends and experienced many exciting things. But the dream of getting to Tampa and having those yummy fish sandwiches kept him going. After many days of traveling, the sound of waves crashing reached Whisker's ears. His heart pounded as he walked toward the sound, and there it was, the magnificent Tampa Bay. The water sparkled like 1,000 diamonds in the sunlight. Tall palm trees swayed in the gentle breeze, and the distant city looked like a painting. Whisker's dream had finally come true. With a last burst of energy, Whisker raced down the street, his orange fur glowing in the afternoon sun. At the end of the street stood a bakery with the smell of fresh bread and fish wafting out onto the sidewalk. As he stood there, the door opened and a lady appeared. Her eyes widened in surprise at the sight of a cat in a collar standing politely outside her store. "Well, hello there, little cat. What can I do for you?" she asked warmly. Whisker, unable to speak, simply stared at the bakery as if to say, "Is this the place where I can get those delicious fish sandwiches?" The lady understood his gaze and chuckled. "Are you here for my famous fish sandwiches? Come in! Come in!" she said, ushering him inside. That moment, Whisker realized that Tampa was even more magical than he had imagined, and his journey had been worth every step. As he savored the taste of his fish sandwich, he knew this was just the beginning of his adventure in this wonderful city. Tampa had welcomed him with open arms, or should I say paws, and he couldn't wait to explore more of this enchanting place. With a full belly and a lighter heart, Whisker set off to explore the city. He wandered through bustling markets, climbed aboard a double-decker bus for a tour, and even took a ride on a ferry across the bay. He met all sorts of friendly faces along the way, from vendors to fellow tourists. Everywhere he went, he felt a sense of belonging and warmth. As the days passed, Whisker's adventure continued. He chased lizards in the park, enjoyed lazy afternoons at the beach, and watched dolphins leaping in the ocean. He learned that Tampa was more than just a city. It was a place where cats could roam freely, enjoy delicious food, and most importantly, where dreams came true. Eventually, the time came for Whisker to return home. As he boarded the bus that would take him back to Millbrook Village, he carried with him not just souvenirs, but a newfound confidence and a trove of wonderful memories. Saying goodbye to Tampa was bittersweet, but Whisker knew he was taking a piece of its magic back home with him. Upon his return to Millbrook Village, Whisker was greeted like a hero.
The villagers gathered on the cobblestone path, their faces lit up with smiles and their eyes twinkling with pride.
They listened in awe as Whisker recounted his adventures, sharing stories of his journey and the wonders he'd seen. From that day on, Whisker's legend grew in the village. He became known not just as the cat who explored Tampa, but as a symbol of courage, curiosity, and the pursuit of dreams. And whenever the villagers felt a bit too comfortable in their routines, they remembered Whisker's tale and how one cat's journey changed not just his life, but the way they saw the world. And so, dear listener, if you ever find yourself in Millbrook Village or anywhere else in life, remember the story of Whisker, the tabby cat who dared to dream big, and the magical journey he took to Tampa, Florida. For in Whisker's journey, we find inspiration to explore, to discover, and to never, ever give up on our dreams. Thank you for joining us on this delightful journey. If you've enjoyed this tale as much as we've loved sharing it, please don't forget to hit the like button below. Your support means everything to us. Until next time, keep dreaming big and following your whiskers wherever they may lead.